Everybody say hello to Des Bishop.
Thank you.
Good to see you, man.
Hello.
How are you? Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man.
How's life?
It's good. It's good. I'm only back from New York about 24 hours. So
That's all right.
I was just visiting my new nephew.
Nice.
So,
we saw that in the bio that you came from New York to here.
Yeah, I'm originally from New York. I moved to Ireland when I was 14. How I ended up moving to Ireland was when I was 14 years of age, I got kicked out of school in New York. And why I got kicked out of school was for a 14-year-old, I had a serious problem with alcohol. Mm-hmm. So my mother came up with this ingenious idea to send me to Ireland to go to boarding school.
Oh, yeah. He's got a problem with a drink.
Yeah.
Send him to Dublin.
Yeah, well, I guess I was an alcoholic, so they might as well send me to the place where I become the best alcoholic I could possibly be. But I don't drink anymore now, so...
yeah, I mean, you quit when you were 19. Is that how old you were when you quit?
19, yeah, when I stopped drinking. And but you know, it's not really true. Ireland's not that bad of a place. I mean, if I were to say the one thing, like in terms of drinking, obviously, I mean, it's not that bad. You know, it's a decent enough place to live. But if there was one thing I would say is a little bit easier when I'm back in the States, as a non-drinker, it's just a bit more natural. You know, you go to the bar in the States, somebody's like, you want a drink? It's like, no, I don't drink. They're like, really? Are you in AA? How long have you been sober? You're working the steps, you have a sponsor. You know, I know I have an American accent, I don't have to put one on. But the point is, they're kind of positive, you know, they have this positive reaction to sobriety. Whereas in Ireland, you go to a bar and you're like, somebody's like, do you want a drink? It's like, no, I don't drink. They're like, you in that AA, is it? Like it's some conspiracy-led organization created to mess it up for everybody else. In fact, Ireland is the only country in the world where when you go to an AA meeting, there's people protesting outside. Actually picketing.
That would be really good for your support. But when you came here when you were so young, I mean, it's culture shock to go from New York City to anywhere is one thing, but to come, you know, to go overseas and end up in a completely different country where, I mean, the culture is very different. What was that like when you were so young?
Man, I mean, a lot of my career in Ireland has been based sort of talking about a lot of those differences. I mean, I guess it was tough because it was 1990. You know, we were joking before we went on air about, you know, like Ireland's in a recession now. But in 1990, Ireland was just a completely different place. You know, the country was definitely not as prosperous as it is now, even though they're going through some tough times. And so for me, it was just like I was a kid from Queens. I was used to a completely different thing. And then I came to Ireland and... I don't know, 14 years in Ireland, a 14-year-old in Ireland was just different. You know, I'd already lost my virginity, which I've actually never admitted on television, but I lost my virginity at 14. I'm good. And, but I'm only kidding, obviously. I would never push your head. But that's not my style. It's like, hello, ladies, how sexy am I? Oh, hello. But yeah, so, you know, there was, I guess, I mean, I couldn't begin to say there's so many differences that I experienced. Like, I was used to just going into the shower, for example, and there was just hot water. In Ireland, you had to sort of plan to have a shower because, I mean, I can't get into it now because Canadians wouldn't know what I'm talking about, but the first big routine that I did was about this thing called the immersion, which is essentially like it heats your water, but it also sucks more electricity than any other thing on the planet. So Irish dads are really paranoid about that. So it's just a whole new sort of code for living that I had to deal with. But it was great because, you know, maybe Americans like take a lot of things for granted, and I had to sort of reevaluate. And it was the best, like those teenage years completely saved me.
Well, if you're going to be a stand-up comic or any kind of comedian, it's important to be able to draw from your life. And when you have so many rich experiences, that, I mean, that just feeds your work. At what point did you realize, hey, I can actually take this and make a living out of it?
It's funny because a priest, I went to this boarding school in Ireland called St. Peter's, right? Which has become famous because it was at the epicenter of a massive sexual abuse scandal, right? So it wasn't like the most amazing place. But there was this priest and he was a really angry guy. And he always used to say to me, you know, one of these days that big mouth is going to get you in trouble. So I guess
when you hear that from a priest in the epicenter, that is the last thing you want to be a part of.
Especially when he's talking about your big mouth.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like,
like when he's been checking you out. So, that's a good mouth. So, Canada's obviously a bit different.
Say whatever you like, sir.
Yeah, we wouldn't get away with this in New York now. But yeah, do you want to hear a really screwed up story? Yeah. My principal went to prison a few years after I left St. Peter's, right? And the very first thing that he said to me when I arrived in St. Peter's, like this is no word of a lie, I swear to the whole of Canada, that when I walked through the door, he got me on my own, he pulled me to the side and he said, now Desmond, there's a couple of words in Ireland that are different to the way that you would use them in America. And one of them is the word fanny. It's not the back, it's the front. That was the very first thing he said to me. And I thought, oh my God, of all the things that you would think an American needs to know, on his first day in Ireland, the word fanny is not the back, is the most important thing. Surely there were more important things I needed to know.
Well, he was just preparing you for the second day where he said, how's your fanny? That is, oh, for the love of God.
Yeah, so anyway, so I guess it was when I got away from that sort of atmosphere where people were putting down that natural sort of thing that I had. And also after I stopped drinking, I just, started pursuing things that I should be pursuing. And I was 21 years old, and this other non-drinking guy that I had come to meet suggested that I should really start doing gigs because I was in the drama society, and I just did a gig, and one thing led to another. And
the thing about being confident and having that confidence level is to be able to draw from your own life, even the uncomfortable things. You did the stuff about your life in New York. Then you battle cancer. You easily worked that into your routine. Was that work to put that in?
Well, yeah, that happened before all those TV shows. In 2000, I discovered a lump on my left testicle. And which I know there's a load of people sitting across from me, and just as I started talking about it, I went like that. I can assure you, I wasn't doing it for check me out.
Yeah.
But
incidentally, that's the second time you've grabbed your testicles in this interview.
Is that right? Oh, that's the second time.
Yeah, carry on. Whatever.
There's only one left. I have to make sure he's okay.
Here's the thing. In Ireland.
Oh, it still works, ladies.
Well, good for you, because in Ireland you were voted you were one of the guys that women wanted to be, and I believe the words are they want you to be their baby daddy.
Their mystery father. The mystery father of their children.
Is that the sort of thing that you're happy about?
I'm happy about it, yeah, but my right testicle was like, geez, it's tough enough carrying this on my own. Now you're going to try to impregnate 8% of Irish women or whatever. But yeah, no, I discovered a lump. I like talking about it a bit because it's healthy for men to, so I discovered a lump. I don't know what I wasn't checking. I just happened to be down there.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I was doing all the way down there. It was just one of those sensitive days. I guess I needed to get to know myself first. And I was making love to myself. And so anyway, I discovered a lump, and I did a very male thing, which you should never do. I felt the lump. I thought, oh my God, that could be cancer.
Yeah.
I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to never touch that again. Go away. And unfortunately, it didn't go away. And I did go and get it checked, and it turned out to be testicular cancer. I was 24 years old. That's the perfect age to be if you're going to get it.
Yeah.
But in fairness, testicular cancer is the best cancer you can get. If you're going to get cancer, it's the best. It's very curable. And now I live my life, no problem, completely cured. I only have the one, which I say very publicly because I know there's other guys out there that might be a bit aware of themselves. They only have the one. I didn't get the fake one. They offered me beforehand, just before they go under, as if you're in the right frame of mind to make that decision. It's like, we're just about to put you under to take out one of your testicles. That happens to have cancer and might kill you.
Yeah.
But do you want to get a silicone prosthesis?
Yeah.
So I said, I don't really want one, but for the record, why do men get one? And the doctor said, well, most men get them for cosmetic reasons.
Yeah.
And I thought, cosmetic reasons, what can you do to that area? That is the least attractive part of the male anatomy. Never in my life did I ever think, oh, my scrotum, that will make, I never was with a girl and thought, oh, I'm not sure she's into me. Wait till I unleash my wrinkled turkey's gizzard sack of love, and then she will not be able to resist me. How you like me now, baby? So I didn't get it. Thanks. Cancer always gets them going. So I didn't get it. And anyway, I don't want a silicone prosthesis in my sack,
right.
for lack of a better term, for the rest of my life, because I don't want to worry about which one's the real one for the rest of my life. I don't want to worry about it exploding on a plane or whatever. I don't want to be buried and 100 years later they dig up my grave and all that's left to represent me physically is a silicone jelly bean.
One nut, that's all you have left.
Or I get cremated and my grandchildren spread my ashes over the rocky shores of Cork. It's go granddaddy, go! Bing, 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 bing. So I didn't get it.
When you put that into your routine the first time, how did people react? Was it
actually, I must be honest, a good question, because I probably did it too fast. And I probably still had a bit too much of an emotional connection to it myself. And it's not that people didn't, it's not that they thought it was inappropriate that I was doing it, but I was too emotionally connected and they could feel that. And they were kind of just started feeling sorry for me or whatever,
Yeah.
And but then I left it for a couple of years, and then when I had some space from it and I came back, then it was cool. And then I've done it in many parts of the world, and I like doing it because it's a healthy thing. And I have had, I don't want to blow my own trumpet about a load of things, but I've had a couple of really positive reactions. One, I get great reaction from guys that have had it, and they just go, dude, it's great, because I never know how to react, I never know how to tell people or whatever. But I also had a girl email me and say that her brother got himself checked as a result of seeing the routine, and he had testicular cancer. So, for loads of reasons, it's good to joke about it. And it's good to take the stigma away from cancer, because people are just so, they overreact to the word, and sometimes that can be a dangerous thing, because the fear can cause you not to take action.
No kidding. I'll stick around more with Des when we come back, actually. If you want to feel sorry for him, we're going to unload a bunch of questions from 220 with Mr. Bishop when we return. Would you rather hear a painfully boring story read by a beautiful naked lady or a book on tape in a Ferrari? It's a very difficult
Because I
question.
have massive problems with intimacy, a book on tape
Oh,
with
no.
Ferrari.
Ed Bishop is here. You're in New York, but you just finally went to see your first hockey game? Is that what you did?
I was just telling you that. Well, because I noticed when I was, researching the show that you interviewed Mark Messier. So for us New Yorkers, he's like a god. Even though he came to us late.
Yes.
He was a late arrival, but
he
that
brought
was
you that cup.
That was a good time, I'm a Met fan, man. I have to go back really far back for most of my Rangers, the Mets. They've let me down for a long time.
No kidding, man. You ready to play 220?
Go for it.
Roll the animation.
Exciting.
Here we go. Pretend there's nobody around us right now. It's just you and I.
Okay.
New York or Dublin?
Dublin.
What's harder, learning Irish or deciphering an accent from Queens?
Learning Irish.
Which you learned, right?
I learned it, yeah.
Yeah, how was it?
It was great, yeah.
Was it difficult to learn?
It was. I mean, if you want to talk about it later when we're not doing 220, I'll bore you for 3 hours because it completely changed my life.
But you do House of Pain in Irish, don't you?
Yeah, Lame Heart.
Lame
I
Heart.
translated Jump Around into Irish.
You give us a verse? Spit a verse.
You want a verse?
Spit a verse.
Okay, so Doon the club, doon the veil, Eish lay maskil, Machapan do dig to Tata Kurdigil, Tamago, Huawra, Kanga made Laslara, go your walk the beacons, Kakisha, Alarm Tower, just tell me when to stop. Shoesteen,
We're good. Was that right? Was he correct? All right. Football or soccer?
Like as in, which football?
Take it as any way you want. Irish football.
Gaelic football versus soccer? Oh,
Yeah.
Gaelic football.
There you go.
Guaranteed.
Really?
Yeah, I don't play in the sport of the imperialists.
Okay.
No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. I like them both, but definitely Gaelic football.
Minimum wage or maximum laughs?
Both.
All right. Star Wars or Lord of the Rings?
Star Wars.
Would you rather hear a painfully boring story read by a beautiful naked lady or a book on tape in a Ferrari? It's a very difficult
Because I
question.
have massive problems with intimacy, a book on tape
Oh,
with a Ferrari.
You're going to get quickly dropped off the baby daddy list if you admit to that sort of thing. Who's the funniest comic in the world?
The funniest comic
Did you
in
just swear in sci-fi?
I swear it like I said, which in Ireland is like the nice way of saying.
Right, yeah.
But like, so you're saying, but you're not really saying. So
Yeah.
it's the kind of the great denial. The funniest comedian in the world is Dave Chappelle.
Just saw him do. Oh, we'll talk about that later on. Which country would you like to just punch in the face?
Which country would I like to punch in the face?
Yeah.
Oh God. A year ago, Zimbabwe,
Okay. Why?
because they got some issues. Okay. Not because they're black, if that's what you're asking.
I was really hoping you were going to not go there. Hey, do you find President Barack Obama dashing and breathtaking or merely handsome and elegant?
Dashing and breathtaking.
There you go. Everybody, Des Bishop.
Thanks, man.